Alright, so last time we covered some barbecue chicken wings in a barbecue rub with some salt and pepper. So this episode super simple, starting off with an air fryer. You can also use an oven. Setting it to about 400, and we're just gonna throw it in for about 10 minutes to start. Though in some testing, I found that closer to like 16-ish minutes actually works a little bit better. So I would recommend 16 minutes instead of 10. But yeah, just want to lay them out, try to make sure, if you care, just try to not have them clump up, because the more further apart they are, the better they will crisp up. So, yep, you can choose to even not spray any oil on it and you'll be perfectly fine. If you prefer to make it healthier, if you prefer to have it a little bit crispier, taste a little bit better, honestly, this is where you put on some olive oil. But yeah, so you can either do like 400 here for about 10-11 minutes. See, I'm going to put some oil because I want it to taste really good for whatever reason. So you can either do it for 400 for about 10-11 minutes, or what I do in the future is I just go down to about 380 for about 16 minutes. Works a little bit better that way. With 400, I find that the outside gets a little bit overcooked, the inside gets slightly undercooked. So and this is the secret of batch cooking, is while one thing's cooking, you just got to keep working. Like when you're in the kitchen, you have all your stuff out. It's kind of a sport. It's like a match, basically. You're playing against yourself. Like, you want to use every second you can get to start doing stuff. Just start moving and cooking things. So right here, I have the chicken thighs from the whole chicken that I broke down. So in this chicken thighs, I'm gonna grate some garlic and ginger. So that's what I'm doing here. Like about a finger's worth of ginger, about half a finger length of ginger grated in here. I'm also gonna grate some garlic cloves. You can also just mince it, honestly, or put some minced garlic. You don't have to actually like chop up fresh garlic if you don't want to. Minced garlic is a lot easier. I've just been recently experimenting with using fresh garlic in an attempt to do some more home cooking. So you'll see that I added a couple tablespoons of dark soy sauce. That I use that to get the crust on the outside on these chickens when they go into the air fryer. And then I threw in a bunch of random spices. So I happen to have some peppercorn and some cayenne pepper. I use those. But really, this recipe is supposed to call for like Chinese 5-spice pattern. I just didn't have it. Didn't feel like going and buy it. So just throw in whatever random spices you feel like are kind of Asian. And so right there at the end, I poured in like half a bottle of honey. So like about 6 ounces of honey, or half a cup, a little bit more than half a cup of honey. You can play around with this depending on your sweetness level. And yeah, just give it a good mix up. In between here. So yeah, finish that. And now the chicken wings are done. Nice and crispy. Promise you those things were delicious. Next up, we have... So right now what's going on here is I have that gigantic stock pot. I'm going to be making some chicken stock in with the bones. So the first step to making a chicken stock is actually roasting the carcass and all your leftovers in the oven at like 400, 425 for about like 20-25 minutes-ish. With some salt and pepper. So while that's roasting the oven, again, multitasking here, the secret to getting some food prepped is making the flavor for another dish. So with the chicken breasts, part of the chicken, I'm going to just be eating it with a sauce with a bok choy. So right now I'm just making the sauce. It's going to sit in the fridge overnight. And again, just knob, like a half finger length of ginger with like a 1/4 cup of oil and a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So just like, and then adding some garlic in there, and some scallions. I'm going to chop a couple scallions to finish it out, and a drizzle of sesame oil. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting in way too much ginger. As you can see, I actually bought like a whole knob of like fresh ginger from the grocery store. I had way too much, so I just kind of overestimated how much ginger I needed for this stock. Again, I would not use more than like a finger's worth for the stock, no matter how big the pot is. Like this stock ended up coming out a little bit gingery. But yeah, I'm gonna get a couple star anise cloves that I happen to have from the Asian Mart. You do not have to do this to your chicken stock. To be honest, you could just get away with like salt and pepper and some soy sauce even. Like you could Google stock recipes online to find different spice combinations for a chicken stock. But yeah, here I'm going to be, I didn't even show what spice I'm using, but I'm going to be doing some coriander, 2 star anise cloves, finger's worth of ginger. I believe that's like cumin. Yeah, that's probably cumin. So cumin, again, just kind of eyeballing it, like 12 shakes of cumin, probably like a couple taps of coriander. And what I'm gonna do is once that roast chicken is all done and ready to go, I'm gonna throw that in a pot of boiling water with the spices, and then turn it down to like a simmer for the next 18 hours. Yes, you can let it sit out overnight. The whole idea is for the stock pot is big enough that you don't have to worry about it. Yep. Here I'm deciding to add some peppercorns, get that Asian flavoring going on. So yeah, that is all for this part of the cooking process for the week. Made a whole chicken, broke it down into pieces, prepped the sauce for the chicken breasts, started up the stock, multitasked while air frying the wings, made a chicken teriyaki marinade for the chicken thighs. Thank you.